of course, is the one obvious thing.
Hey, happy Wednesday, everybody. We're doing a special episode tonight, and we weren't going to record anything, but we figured, Drew found a bunch of comic book news, and, it's the first, figured we'd have a lot of fun, and, without further ado, Carrie, how's it going?
Hey, it's going well. I had a little bit too much of this last night, so I am not drinking with us on the show this evening. However, Ratatosker shall make up for it for me. But yeah. I'm happy to have made it into the new year, and I'm hoping this one goes a little bit smoother than last year did. Happy New Year, all you folks out there.
Happy New Year. Drew!
Oh, no, it's fine. I know you probably thought I was on mute. Happy New Year, everybody. So grab your drink. Let's do some news.
Oh. Yeah, and I am partaking. How about what do you got there, Drew?
Cider.
Oh, cider. Okay.
Cider. Not cider like the mango stuff, like alcoholic cider.
Alcoholic cider. Okay.
Yes. But
well, I got it rum myself, so it's
Hey. All right. So it's literally the first day of 2025, and here we are. It was weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was very weird. The last 2 Tuesdays, it was a holiday, and I was like, feel like being on the show, but I'm like, but it's a holiday.
I know we need to spend time with family. It's well, our other families, our local families, not our common families.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody, there was so much news. And we have a great show, which we're going to talk about at the end of this one, lined up for next week. But there was so much news, we didn't want it to be a 3-hour show. That is usually reserved for New York Comic Con in San Diego. Happy New Year, Mahana. So here we are. So without further ado, Leo, I say we just jump feet in and just do the thing.
We can't just do that.
Yeah, we can. You just for some reason like to ban. You think that our ratings are going to be substantiated by fluffernutter banter, and I'm like, it's empty calories.
I can show you the white elephant gift that I got.
Ooh, what'd you get?
Oh God.
I'm one of the only. I think I'm out of the entire family. There are 2 of us, my nephew and I, who would appreciate this. So to me, it was kind of a ooh, that's cool instead of a what the fuck. I got like a drinking horn, only it hasn't been cured and polished yet. So you don't really. That's all masked up there, and
Are you,
like flakes
Carrie?
and stuff.
I have a question. Will you be summoning the Kraken when that is completed?
I did clear this part. I could try.
Yeah. I feel like there's a mythological beast that you will summon upon tooting that horn.
Yeah, this was. It had a Goodwill sticker on it, so apparently, If you're looking for a nice chunk of horn, go
That's
check out your local Goodwill.
You know what? I'm sorry. With all due respect, that's a rookie move. You take the sticker off. You never let the person know where you got it or how much it was.
No, it's white elephant, so we require that it has to be used and it has to be under $10. And yeah, so it's fair to leave it on because then you know that they abided by the rules.
And
Like,
also,
I gave
at Goodwill, I mean, you never know. Somebody could be turning in a possessed,
No,
type, you know.
only you would think that, and probably Carrie and me. But we're strange.
I mean, my presents were like it all came together because they each cost $5, but it was a salt and pepper set of vintage baker clowns. So they were just scary ass looking clowns, dressed up as bakers, as a salt and pepper set. And then there was also that the other thing that I found that somebody was selling was a doll head, just a head. And it had a hat that went with it, and its hair was all like messed up, and there were a couple braids, and they just sold that. So I bought it, and so I gave away scary clowns and a doll head for my white elephant this year. And you have to display them for a year, whatever you get.
Okay, Carrie, I'm going to say something, and I mean this with love. I need to know if you ever get me a present, what it is. Okay.
I give you good presents.
No, I know you do, but I'm now questioning things because I want to be like, oh my God, this is wonderful. Where did you get this? The supernaturally possessed pawn shop from Stephen King's Needful Things? Like, fuck. Like, you know, when you were like the doll head, I'm like, is the rest of the doll coming back for it?
Nope, they were just selling a doll head. So I was like, you know what? That says Carrie.
You know what? Let's you know what? That's it. We just need to get to the news. I can't.
Oh, well, before we do, I need to. I know. I already know the answer to this, but did any of you watch the new What If?
No. Are you talking about the whole thing about Howard and Darcy having a kid?
Well, that was one of the episodes, but it's kind of funny that the worst Marvel movie they have 3 episodes based off of.
Are you talking about Howard the Duck?
No, Eternals.
Oh,
there's 3 episodes.
Is it like really the worst? I feel like, is it? Are you sure? I don't know. I've never saw it, so I would.
Well, obviously they want us to remember Eternals before Captain America comes out. So it's
sure.
I
guess.
Oh, yes. Mahana has unalive things preserved in jars. I love you even more now.
Listen, I have told her more than once that if you two ever had a gothic pajama party, I am 100% not delivering that pizza. Because
Mahana, my sister's father-in-law collects the body parts that are removed from his friends and family and makes crafts out of them. Like one year he gave her hoop earrings that had molars on them. And that's Uncle Joey's molar, and that's Miss Madison down the street's molar. And yeah.
Okay.
I love that man.
Sorry.
Thank you, God. No, Leo, well done. Thank you, God, you beautiful fucking weirdo. So, there's only one variant watch story, and it's something that's actually pretty dope. So, Marvel has released every cover featuring Dinosaur Doom, who, if you don't already know, is exactly what it sounds like. The T-Rex Victor Von Doom that we saw way back in Fantastic Four issue 12, hailing from a reality where dinosaurs never went extinct and essentially became the premier heroes of their world. And of course, one of them being the T-Rex was Dr. Doom. So we saw both of those Dooms teaming up against Fantastic Four before inevitably the Dr. Doom ego causes them to turn on each other. So question is, now that his 616 counterpart is the Sorcerer Supreme and you have the new series One World Under Doom, is this Dinosaur Doom, is he friend? Is he foe still? Is he ambivalent? Is it just a sales a cash grab? I have no idea. But every issue of the 9-issue series by Ryan North and R.B. Silva will have a variant cover that is Dino Doom themed. Yeah. Look at those. They all look pretty freaking cool. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they do. And one of them, you could see, yeah. So you have a Dino Captain Marvel and a Dino Iron Man.
Yeah, they were all. We all saw them during that storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, there's all dinosaur versions of the Avengers.
I thought they were ducks.
I can't.
I was very confused.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read that series, so I was unaware. I was just like, oh, look, ducks.
Well, you know what they say, life is like a hurricane.
Yeah, stop it. But yeah, so these are all there. As a dinosaur fan, this appeals to me on so many levels. Because I now realize that there's one thing that's more dangerous than a dinosaur is a dinosaur with an ego. So that's why Dino Doom is one of the most greatest threats to the multiverse. But like I said, One World Under Doom is making its way. It should be starting probably, I think, this month or next month. So it's a 9-issue series. Each one will be a dinosaur cover. So Jurassic Park fans, check this shit out.
You know, I have something else to say.
Imagine that.
Doom, doom, akalaka, doom, 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 akalaka, doom, doom.
Okay, Leo, that's strike one. If you keep this up, we are going to put you on timeout for 2 minutes.
For those youngins, it's based off of Boom Boom, Akalaka Boom Boom from Walk to Dinosaur.
Oh,
A amazing 80s song that's like
We'll live forever on 4chan.
Yeah. Was. Google it. Was not was. Walk to Dinosaur.
Nope. Stop. Yeah. Done. Moving on. So that's the only variant story. Dino Doom. So, you know what, Leo? Leo, this is a new year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be okay with this. Punch it, Chewy. You know what time it is.
Love it.
Drew's News. Exciting tales, fresh comic views. In the pages, heroes fly, villains plot under the sky. From Gotham's dark to Metropolis views, we cover stories old and new. Drew's News, your daily source for comic clues. Join the fun, it's a heroic cruise in the world of Drew's Comic News.
Doom, akalaka, doom, 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 akalaka, doom, doom.
So, Carrie, would you like to start us off?
Why, Drew? I believe I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, so I'm kind of excited about this. I'm kind of excited about everything that I get because that's why I get it. One of my favorite writers is going to be giving us yet another new miniseries to enjoy in the new year. On April 23rd, Arcana Royale hits the shelves of your LCS, written by Cullen Bunn, who you know from Harrow County, Beyond Mortal, and illustrated by Zamudio, who did the Six Gun Valley of Death.
Nice.
Colored by Bill Crabtree, who also did some Six Gun work, and letters by Josh Reed, who did Where the Monsters Lie, where monsters like Cul-de-sac, which Drew and I are also reading. This story follows Hudson Tremaine, a high-stakes gambler. She might be in over her head as she is allowed into an underground tournament called the Arcanos Mysterinos. The other gamblers involved in this tournament include demons and demigods. She has basically no friends and plenty of enemies, and she finds herself playing a game that will determine the fate of the world. Basically set in an arcane version of Las Vegas, Cullen has had this book in the background for a while and is very excited about its release. Zamudio and Crabtree are taking us on this adventure as their first full collaboration and are offering up some new techniques in the artistry. You can bet that this will be a winner.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah. Hi, Pyle.
Hey, Pyle.
Yeah, make sure you grab that on April 23rd.
Nice. There's so many really great independent comics coming out this year. I was blown away at how many were popping up in the time we were away. I was like, good Lord. I thought this is the slow period.
Yeah, and I'm going to be bringing you a lot of Kickstarters, not just to look at, but ones that you're going to be seeing an influx of. Carrie spent too much money. Carrie spent too much money.
Oh, no. Carrie,
from it.
Carrie, no matter how much money you spend, is in no way pales to how much Leo has spent. So,
yeah, but Leo is
So, speaking of Leo, I believe the next one is you about an interesting thing that we don't really hear much about.
Yeah, so in March of 2025, it's hard to believe we're in 2025 already. So it's gearing up to be an epic month. We've got some out-of-this-world news. So if you're a fan of sci-fi anthologies with a mind-bending twist, definitely keep an eye for Assorted Crisis Events. It's a new series by Dennis Camp and a powerhouse creative team. So Assorted Crisis Events is brought to life by Camp and artist Eric Zawadisky. And I know I said that wrong. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Zawadisky? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it dives deep into the world where the collapse of time and space isn't just a cosmic problem. It's hitting everyday people right where it hurts. Think Black Mirror meets Crisis on Infinite Earths, but with a street-level perspective that's both surreal and surprisingly relatable. So picture this. It's a caveman sharing the streets with cyborg soldiers, Victorian debutantes walking into cell phone stores, bleary-eyed commuters getting stuck in endless time loops, and every issue delivers a one-shot story that's part tragic, part beautiful, and mind-blowing. So Camp describes the series as one of the most ambitious and rewarding creative experiences of his career, promising fans a mix of standalone tales and larger overreaching mysteries surrounding the Broken Man. So Camp isn't flying solo, with Zawadzki's stunning visuals are paired with Eisner-winning talents Jordi Belair on colors and Hassan Atsamani El-Wahou on letters. And together, this team is redefining sci-fi anthologies. And again, this is coming out March 12th of 2025. And yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, there's some really great covers and stuff there too. That poor guy looks sad.
Oh yeah, that's.
Well, I think the thing that I like is that this is essentially things that we've seen. I mean, crisis events like Crisis on Infinite Earths, we see this every day, and we see how it affects superheroes, but how does it affect normal people?
Yeah.
So it's just, and then like I said, it's an anthology, so we're going to be getting these wonderful one-shots that are just very real and raw about what it's like when you're a normal person and your world is literally breaking.
Yeah.
So,
well, also, I follow strange stories, and there's some strange stories about time slips. So it
Mhm.
sounds like that this is a comic's going to be based off of like a bunch of different time slips. So people in everyday life like slipping to a different time. You know, like the Debbie Dantes, or I know I said that wrong, but
Yeah.
just people from old Victorian time coming to regular time, and
No, well, I think the thing being is, Leo, is you're just going to have a hodgepodge of people from different times,
exactly.
different realities, all trying to make sense of their everyday life. And it's just, how do you do that when it's not just your world, but not as in reality, but time and space is in a constant flux and just teetering on oblivion? It would fuck with anyone, especially people who just have standard 9 to 5.
And how
You know.
terrifying to be watching all of these people getting sucked into your reality and never knowing if you're suddenly just going to show up with dinosaurs around you or
Yeah.
in the middle of the Black Plague or something,
And that's the thing I always enjoy, how nonchalant, like depending on the person in the universe, I feel like people are just so nonchalant about anything, like Marvel, DC. They just accept this stuff. They're like, "Yep, this is normal." Like how it's like how Marvel, that's nothing when you see dinosaurs. They're like, "Yeah, this is a Savage Land thing, so it's fine." No, but yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, more dinosaurs. So doom, Akalaka, doom.
stop it. Just knock it off.
I think we're at 3 now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he just can't help himself, Carrie. He just keeps pushing and pushing. But I'm going to be distracted because I believe it's my turn. So just cue me up, Scotty.
Boom, boom.
So you'll do bad things. So this sounds absolutely fantastic. So this is the latest project from Four Kids Walk Into a Bank co-creator / artist Tyler Boss, who's teaming up with artist Adriano Turlusi and letterer Hassan Osman Ahoy to create a straight-up giallo, which I believe is a kind of Italian horror with a dose of neon gore. So this series, Carrie, is being produced under James Tynion's Tiny Onion label. It's being produced under them, and it's published through Image. So the series talks about a true crime smash hit called He Came with a Smile, which chronicles brutal murders committed by a serial killer who's known as the Nursery Rhyme Killer. But it's been 10 years, not only since the release of that, but also the time that author Seth Holmes hasn't produced another book. So, and it's not for lack of trying, but every time he wants to write a story with a happy ending, every time his fingers are typing away, it always ends in his character's death. And to make matters worse, these horrible tales of blood and barbarity that are coming out of his mind are actually starting to happen in real life. So, Boss says it's a love letter to Italian slasher genre giallo with all the blood, nudity, and craziness, but it's also a critique to true crime genre and our cultural fascination with serial killers. He describes it as a fun and nasty comic book, which apparently are some of his favorite things. So You'll Do Bad Things, issue 1 of 6, goes on sale Wednesday, March 26th. We've seen the covers there. You had one from Boss, one from Terlishi, Jenna Cha, and Marcos Martin. I mean, all of them. I mean, Carrie, I literally said, I feel like I shouldn't have covered this. I feel like this is straight up your kind of book.
That's okay. There's one more page of art, I believe, as well, because I love the palette used in this. It's so it's does pink noir sound right?
I think it's got that 80s Italian horror retroness going that just perfectly syncs up with the material.
You just say Italian and I'm just like, what did it? Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, giallo.
Yeah, I love the flat palette with everything though. It looks really, really nice.
Yes. Okay. Well, yeah, thank you, Carrie. Definitely, I know you'll add this to your pull list. Leo, not much. But I just thoroughly enjoyed just reading about this. I was like, this sounds awesome. So March 2025, everybody. Be careful what you write, because apparently some things are stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. All right. So,
All right.
next up. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Carrie.
love this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Leo, did you know this? But Carrie is actually a Peter Pan fan. I did not know that.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't. What drives you to the story?
It's fun. Like I enjoy the Disney movie too, but there have been so many takes off of Peter Pan, but I like the books. I like somebody recently put out, I can't remember who it was now, but Peter Pan in Kensington Gardens. And
Mm-hmm.
it's gorgeous, by the way. If you go look it up, it was recently released, beautiful book. It's the whole, like in the book, particularly when they have Wendy and Peter interacting, and he's looking for a mother. He'll never grow up, but she's embarrassed by how cocky he is, and she's trying to be friends with him though, and trying to take care of him, and just how much he doesn't understand, and how it helps. Like when she ends up being their mother, then he thinks he's going to be the father because he's the biggest one there or whatever, but doesn't understand the basic principles of things, like even what a kiss is and stuff. And it's a really sweet story.
Yeah.
Well, Hook is
Robin
awesome
Williams
too.
song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Absolutely love Hook.
Well,
Yeah. That story is very tragic too.
yes.
Yeah.
But the reason that we bring that up is because this story you're going to cover is also a take on Peter Pan. Go for it, Carrie.
Yes. So Boom Studios is bringing us a new Peter Pan tale on March 19th. Dan Panosian, who has also written a take on Alice in Wonderland at Boom, is joined by Alessio Avallone, known for King and Country, to create The Last Boy. Per Dan, having grown up fascinated with the Peter Pan films and books, I desperately wanted to tell a Peter Pan and Wendy story that takes place years after they encountered one another. I wondered what would happen if everyone around Peter Pan grew up, but he still hadn't, even if his very life and those he loved depended on it. And per Alessio, I've loved Peter Pan's story since childhood. Maybe because, like all comic book artists, we're eternal children. But as an adult artist, this project gave me a creative freedom I hadn't felt in a while. The real challenge was capturing the contrast between the foggy London and the dreamy Neverland. I hope readers enjoy it. So basically, The Last Boy is all about growing up. Peter has an encounter with Captain Hook, who is also growing older, and it leaves him very shaken as he realizes he is the only one left in Neverland who hasn't grown up. And then there's a mirror to this in the real world, where there's a very depressed Wendy struggling with growing up in London and trying to be an adolescent and live up to all the expectations that there are of her. So this series has them trying to find each other to stave off adulthood and try once again to be carefree adventurers. But even Peter Pan might not be able to fight off growing up forever. So I think it looks gorgeous. That artwork, I mean, Tinkerbell right there. Just wow.
And Carrie, also to piggyback on you, I mean, you've got main cover art is by Dan, who's also an artist. And then the covers, I mean, you have Eliza Inanova from Poison Ivy, Gani Montez, who's doing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the great Adam Hughes is doing cover, and then even Bill Sienkiewicz from, who, again, needs no introduction, but, Moon Knight and such. Just, I mean, what talent. And then everything you just showed looks beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't see any new covers up yet. I'm sure we'll get them on a variant watch soon.
Mm-hmm.
But it just I love having the revisitations too. There are a lot of people have taken a lot of stuff and gone crazy with it, with like Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan, and turned it into very spicy stories. I guess would be the best way to put it, which
Right.
kind of is like, I just don't think that's right. Like, I don't see Peter Pan ever hooking up with someone. That's the whole thing, is he's an eternal child. He might.
Mm. Okay.
It just doesn't work right. I've read some and kind of gone, oh, that's great. But I have read some great other things about Peter Pan. So I always like checking out new angles and seeing what people do with him.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Carrie. When is that coming up?
That is coming out on, I just scrolled past it, March 19th.
Nice. All right. We'll definitely keep a lookout for it. We'll make sure we clap. Speaking of clapping, Leo, it's I believe it's time to fill in a gap of Star Wars.
Yeah. So we're getting a new Poe Dameron story. So punch it, Chewie. I just
sorry.
Love it. So get ready for the return of one of the galaxy's most dynamic duos. 10 years after The Force Awakens, Poe Dameron and BB-8 are back in action in an upcoming miniseries, Hyperspace Stories Codebreaker. So it's brought to you by Dark Horse Comics, and the writer is Ethan Sachs. So it's a 4-issue miniseries kicking off in April of 2025. Takes the Resistance ace pilot and his beloved droid. Everybody loves BB-8. On a high-stakes mission. Hopefully it's not high stakes to the gambling place. But we're not.
Keep going.
So the story begins with Poe and BB-8 investigating a dangerous piece of the First Order tech designed to decode Resistance messages. So, but as any good Star Wars tale tells you, things don't go smoothly. They always have a bad feeling about it. So Poe finds himself going head-to-head with the infamous TIE fighter pilot. So with the question looms, can Poe's skills outmatch the First Order, or will this mission crash and burn? So writer Ethan Sachs shared excitement for the project, reflecting on his first experience with The Force Awakens. He remembers being captivated by Oscar Isaac's performance as Poe and that charming rolling astromech at his side. Little did I dream of getting the chance to add their stories for the 10-year anniversary celebration. So stunning covers are already revealed by fans. Fans can expect epic visuals to complement this thrilling new chapter in the Resistance saga. And we have 2 of the covers here. And so mark your calendars, April 9th, 2025 for the first issue of Hyperspace Stories Codebreaker. And like I mentioned, it's going to be a 4-issue miniseries. So definitely hit up your LCS and get it in your pull list.
Sweet. Sounds great.
Reddit Oscar wanted to know, if Poe fails, does that mean he'll be in Evermore?
Oh my god.
It's the squirrel, not me.
Sure.
I absolutely love it that you're all adopting the bad jokes. It's
I don't.
Squirrel is.
Yeah. Well, considering the next book is called "We're Taking Everyone Down with Us," that's generally how I feel with y'all. So, let's move to the next story. So, Image has a fantastic premise, essentially asking the question, what about the collateral damage after the end of a James Bond movie, specifically The Legacy? So that's kind of the concept behind We're Taking Everyone Down with Us, which is a new 6-issue miniseries from Matthew Rosenberg and Stefano Landini. So this is going to launch in March with an extra-length first issue. So this team, who we formerly saw teaming up on The Punisher for Marvel, introduces 13-year-old Annalise, who's left all alone in the world after her mad scientist father is killed by the world's greatest spy. Now, alongside her dead dad's robot bodyguard, she has a choice. Do I lead a normal life for the first time ever, or do I seek revenge and maybe overthrow the world order in the process? So generally, these guys just sound like this is just goals. because you have a story with super spies, mad scientists, robots, family, and revenge. So it's just pop culture uniting everything together in a graphic form that sees a father and the daughter are the protagonists. So this is an adventure that recalls your 70s James Bond, set in an imaginary world where humanity coexists with robots, exoskeleton, and futuristic weapons. So this just sounds so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly am enjoying what I'm seeing in this. This is going to be available in shops Wednesday, March 26th. So Leo was showing you just now some interior pages, and then we also saw some covers by Landini, Mattia de Lulis, Joshua Hood, Carrie's favorite Chip Zdarsky, and of course Martin Simmons as well. Everything here looks fantastic. What a fun, great idea. And I definitely can't wait to read this. I think this is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool.
Right? Oh, God. So, all right. So that's that. So, March 2025, we're going to be spending a lot of money. A lot of money. Yeah. All right. But this one, I'm not going to lie. Carrie, I hate to say it. This one was just one of the strangest things I've read in a while. So naturally I signed it to you. So Quilt on.
All right. So Dark Horse is presenting a follow-up to the Great British Bump Off, which took place in like their version of the Great British Bake Off tent, with a 4-issue miniseries, The Great British Bump Off: Kill or Be Quilt, with writer John Allison and art by Mark Sarin. They're following up. The two have also worked together on Giant Days. Shauna Wickle, who was in the first series, turns to the sinister world of quilting after her employer is a victim to an arson attack. The world of quilting offers to make her quite well-to-do if she's willing to sneak in as a spy with the enemies. However, these enemies just don't seem bad to her, though they are described to her as monsters in human skin. This just is going to be fucked up and funny. I got nothing else to say. I was looking through the first one a bit earlier, and it's just hilarious, and the British sense of humor and the dry wit going through things is just awesome as well. So yeah, this is coming out on April 9th. So talk to your LCS and reserve your own copy of this little amusing bit of darkness, because it's just going to be fun. I can't wait to see it. Yeah,
I can't. I definitely am going to read the first series beforehand because it just looks so beautifully weird. And I'm just like, speaking, especially coming from a family where a lot of like my mother, my sister, and my grandmother all sew and have been known to quilt, especially my grandmother, I was just like, oh God, this just.
Megan herself, she's always, sewing, making blankets and stuff like that. But we were doing a film festival up in Buffalo, and they covered, it was like quilts across America or something like that. It's like barn quilts. It's like a whole community of like, do you know about it, Carrie? Like the barn quilts? I guess it's big in like the Midwest and stuff like that too.
There are certain roads you can drive down in Iowa and other places where all of the barns have their own quilting pattern done on either the side or the front doors. Huge quilt. Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, it's kind of cool, but people get obsessed with quilting patterns. I'm actually using this in a story based off of a real thing. A contractor that we talked to was showing us pictures of examples of his work of his own house. And one of the things that he did was he made the ceiling of his entire downstairs in different shades of wood or different types of wood and colors and stuff, put his grandmother's quilt pattern as their ceiling.
Wow.
and shit.
Oh, that's
People
cool.
get crazy. Yeah, I worked at a place where they had quilting get-togethers, and they had this huge quilt with little hidden details in it and stuff. It's wacky.
Wow. Thank you, Carrie. That was weird and wonderful. So, all right. So that's, you said March, right? March, April?
April 9th,
Nice.
I believe.
All right. So, Leo, I believe you're going to tell us about a very interesting classic crossover.
Yeah. So let's go, Johnny. Get ready for the ultimate crossover event, Space Ghost and Johnny
Space Ghost. I'm sorry, I couldn't help.
He yelled at me, by the way. That was like the coolest thing. The voice of Space Ghost, like we were doing a panel, and yeah, he booms over his mic, so I was trying to like fix it, and he yelled at me for like lowering his volume, and yeah, it was hilarious. The way he did, it's just it was all fun. So anyway, Space Ghost and Johnny Quest are teaming up in Dynamite Entertainment's new miniseries Space Quest, a sci-fi adventure that's been years in the making. So the exciting new series is set to debut March 2025. Again, everything's in March. So it brings together the two most iconic action cartoon franchises written by Joe Casey, illustrated by Sebastian Perez, and previously teamed up with Johnny Quest comic Time Flies.
Right.
And the story promises to be a thrilling collision of the two legendary worlds. So the adventure kicks off when the Quest family is called in to investigate a mysterious spacecraft captured by the U.S. government. At first, it's unclear whether the ship is an alien origin or advanced Earth tech, but things do take on a wild turn when Space Ghost himself arrives. He confirms not only the ship's extraterrestrial origins, but also that the alien pilots are now loose on Earth, and it's up to Johnny, Haji, Race, and the rest of the Quest family to join forces with the Phantom of the Spaceways and stop the interstellar threat before it's too late. So Joe Casey describes the crossover as a blend of concepts as much as the characters. He shared saying, once you see it, it's so gloriously obvious that it just feels right. So Space Quest, Johnny Quest, Space Quest #1. Say that 3 times fast. So it lands in comic shops this March. And yeah, this is just so awesome. Like,
I feel like this is the kind of thing that you and our friend Steve Van Sampson, being people who love classic Hanna-Barbera, like myself as well, just it really is surprising that nobody thought of this sooner. I mean, we've seen this before, Leo. I mean, Future Quest, where we saw everybody all together, but it's surprising that this is the first time you'd think Space Ghost, Johnny Quest. It's kind of like an odd no-brainer.
Yeah, and like us old timers, Johnny Quest was an awesome cartoon back in the day, and Space Quest, like or Space Ghost, before he became the talk show, was an actual cartoon as well. So
I was always wondering when like Space Ghost and Birdman would just team up, because I just feel like they were a little too, Birdman. I was like, yeah, this is the same fucking guy. But that's just me. Yeah, but this looks great. And listen, anything that just makes me linger for the old Boomerang days. You know what I mean, Leo?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. This is the last story of the night, so let me conclude it off with a story that I know Carrie would be so down for. Thank you. So Mark Millar has recently, well, not recently, but last year or so, he announced that a lot of his Millar World stuff was now moving over to Dark Horse, and he's been pumping out a ton of stuff. We've had a new Nemesis series, a new Prodigy series, a new Nightclub, all reestablished characters we already saw prior to his mega company crossover Big Game. And this is a new series that he's been releasing for Dark Horse Comics that's called Vatican City. So he's teaming up with artist Peter Berg, or Perberg, sorry, not Peter Berg, that is the director. Perberg, known for his work on books like the Machete Squad, on a new thriller that's going to take place in a world overrun by a vampire apocalypse. So essentially the synopsis is the world has been overrun by a vampire apocalypse and every man, woman, and child is dead, except for the 2,000 tourists that are safe within the walls and holy relics of the Vatican City. But as the vampires gather in their millions outside, how long can the survivors hold out? Because the monsters can wait forever. Essentially, Millar describes this as assault on Precinct 13 with vampires, tourists, and staff safe behind the holy walls in the Vatican, while the rest of the world just falls to darkness. Fun fact, he said he wrote it into volume 3 of one of his books, The Magic Order, but he couldn't handle it being an Easter egg, so he wanted to flesh it out, told the whole story, which was just really an excuse for him to work with Per Berg, who he's been a big fan of, and just that it's apparently one of the maddest things he's ever written, and says that we're going to love it. So as Leo's been showing before, we were seeing the covers by Berg. There was a special black and white variant. There was a variant cover by John McCrea and colorist John Calise. These are all going to be available when you see them April 2025. It's going to be hitting stores officially April 9th. So you can pre-order it, $5.99 at your local LCS. Again, I think it's very rare that I find a Mark Millar stories that I'm like, eh. I mean, don't get me wrong, it happens. He's a human being. But, I mean, god damn. Carrie, I feel like this is just, again, right up your fucking alley.
And that cover, I told you before the show, it makes me think, Red Hulk! It's just,
oh, yeah.
Since I've just been exposed to him, it's just like, oh my god. It's a vampire Red Hulk.
Get out.
Run
All
away!
Right. Well, that's it. That's everything on the news. So,
Wow.
I think the only thing to talk about is next week's show. Leo, can I?
I don't know. Can you?
I think I can, but you got to thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It's a new year. We have so many good things planned. So if you're not subscribing, I really think you should, because we've got a lot planned. For example, we have, to start the year off, we have one of our favorites. Well, my favorite, but they like him too. Writer Eric Burnham is going to be coming back on Splash Pages next week, January 7th. We got a bunch of things to talk to him about, especially his work on TMNT, Saturday Morning Cartoons, which is just such a delight. We got some of his earlier work, and of course, we're going to talk about some Ghostbusters stuff. So we're going to be joined, it's going to be me, Carrie, and Leo, but we're also going to be joined by some other friends from our network. So we have Justin Cooper from Epic Tales of the Sewer. We have Steve McCann from Strange Brews. Is that Leo, right?
That Strange Show.
That Strange Show. Sorry. That Strange Show will be coming on. So it's going to be a full packed house accompanying Eric. So it's a new year. Free up some time for us, okay?
Yeah, Strange Brew is a Canadian comedy.
Okay. No, I got it. Moving on. All right, but that's pretty much it. And we have a ton of other guests. So you're just going to have to tune in to see who we got.
We're booked through March already. The end of March into April.
Yeah, and not to toot our own horns, but if you head on over, definitely, go check out our YouTube page. We've been doing a lot of cleanups, and it's looking mighty awesome, and a lot of good content on there. So if you don't have time for the live shows, or you just want to go in there and look at our past interviews, tons of interviews, you can go and check it all out. And then we got special segments as well. So a lot of cool stuff. So head on over to our YouTube page. Link is in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us.
Indeed. So, Leo, why don't you just sign us off?
Okay, without further ado, I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening, and you know how to find me, but more importantly, follow these awesome people, and we'll kick it on over to Carrie first.
Hey, everybody, if you want to follow me, just look up Carrie Sanders on Facebook, and all of my links are there. You can get everything there. You can find the link to my author page. You can go read my stuff. I would appreciate it if you did. I enjoy writing. You can also find me on the Owlite Network, where we do a lot of shows, and we are just starting our new season there. I can't remember what all I have going on there. I have a lot, though. I don't know what it is, but there's stuff. There's stuff happening. We have interviews. I have some upcoming. We lost our beloved Uncle Necro, and so we've taken his Tomb of the Terrible and renamed it to Uncle Necro's Tomb of the Terrible, and we are going to be doing a bunch of the movies that he had put up for us to watch before he passed on. So join us for Mondays in the upcoming future so we can check out all of Uncle Necro's favorite horrible movies. And that's pretty much it.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Carrie.
Sorry.
Nope.
Yeah.
Damn it. Hey, everybody. When these people aren't driving me crazy, I'm doing other things. You can find me, I'm Drew Mallow on Facebook, Ghostbusters1984 on Instagram. You can also find me now on Blue Sky. We have been working very hard the last month or so of 2024 to really up our game. So we got a lot of really great stuff planned every week. Definitely trying to redo what we're doing here. So stick with us, talk about us, promote all that great stuff. And if you reach out to me, I swear to God, I'll get back to you. I'm just like really busy. So thank you.
no comment.
Oh, no. Nope. And thank you so much for joining us for this special show of Splash Pages. Tune in next week where there could be a funeral on air.
Later. Bye.
Bye, everybody.